After weeks of anticipation, we finally did it. We finally got to make the TreVeyon Henderson film breakdown work. In this live stream, we're going to be discussing why do you think second rounders haven't received their rookie contracts yet? Do you think that TreVeyon Henderson will be a huge asset in Josh McDaniels' offense? And we're going to be taking a look at some of his clips during his time with the national champions, the Ohio State Buccaneers, coming up right here, right now on NE Patriots Talk. Let's go! Come on. Oh well. Forget it. I think I'm limited to using the intro, so that's not the case. But welcome, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another edition here on the NE Patriots Talk channel. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. So, silly me, I thought that the intro would work, but it seems like I'm gonna have to try it again sometime when I have to upgrade the damn. It is what it is. I don't like. It is that's StreamYard nowadays, but at the end of the day, we finally got the breakdown working. So, how are we doing today, Thomas?
Good, and also on the intro, you said Ohio State Buccaneers. It's Buckeyes.
Well, I get confused. Buccaneers, Buckeyes, tomato. It doesn't matter. That was one of my worst flops ever with the intro, but I was close enough. But as usual, guys, please make sure that you smash the like button and hit subscribe. It's completely free and helps supports the channel. And throughout the entire show, please post in your questions and comments throughout in the chat. So let's get this started. So we know who TreVeyon Henderson is. He is the national champion with the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he was touted to be one of the more better running backs in this 2025 NFL draft class. So huge shout out to Paperways for suggesting me to use this particular website. We're not going to show that yet. We want to show the This is not the best live stream so far, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna move forward. So basically, we're going to take a look at the Hold on, let me share my screen. We're gonna show you this this profile of TreVeyon Henderson, so we can see who this man is and why on earth Mike Vrabel chose this guy over some of the other running backs in the draft. We all know that he is one of the more best blocking backs, as you alluded to, Thomas. He is very elusive. However, he has had some injuries during his time in Ohio State. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's not the worst, but the fact that he rushed for 1K yards during his time with Ohio State, it's actually really impressive. So what were your thoughts on TreVeyon Henderson the moment we drafted him in day 2?
One word: stunned. I was never thought we would get a running back in the second round of this year's draft. I literally thought we would get a receiver, but honestly, I mean, we get a guy who's a national champion who rushed for 1,000 yards twice in his career. 1 year he almost did it, which is 2023, where he got 926, 5.9 yards per carry, and 11 touchdowns. But the two times he got a 1K yards was his freshman year, surprisingly. 1,248 rushing yards, 6.8 yards per carry, almost 7 yards per carry, and 15 touchdowns. That's the most of his career by far at college. But then we get to this year, he got 1,016 rushing yards, 7.1 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns. And he is not. And then on the receiving part of things, the most receiving yards he had as a running back was back as a freshman. Again, 312 yards, 4 touchdowns, and his longest was 70 yards. But then we get to this year, yada yada. Sophomore year, 28. Yep, injury bug. And then we get to his junior year at Ohio State, 229, no touchdowns, 12 yards per reception. And then we get to this year, 284, 10.5 yards per catch, and a touchdown, which he caught it when they played when he did it against Texas in that semifinal for the college football playoff.
And we're going to be looking at that play coming up soon, but Andy wants to mention something. Henderson, I don't know if you mentioned it, Thomas, but he had 0 fumbles and only 4 penalties over his time in Ohio State.
I literally forgot to mention that. Thank you, Andy, for that. He has no fumbles in his career at Ohio State, which is, again, they got the best. They got the best offensive line in college, without a doubt, in those 4 years.
They had an injured Simmons. They have Donovan Jackson. I don't know who was on the right side of that offensive line, but they were really good. And it's really interesting that Henderson and Judkins, the 2 running backs at Ohio State, both hit 1,000 yards. So, do you think that Judkins would be a better option than Henderson, or do you think Henderson was a more perfect fit for the Patriots than Judkins?
I say Henderson's better than Judkins. Like, I'm not saying that Judkins is like bad running back, but he has Judkins have issues on the off the field, but he's still a good player nonetheless. Where is he? Where is he selected? Cleveland.
He was selected by Cleveland.
Yep, thank you. So if you're looking for a guy who could do a 1-2 punch and who could play great as a receiving running back, Henderson's the guy. But Judkins is more like a 1-2 punch as a running back. I never see him catch a football or run good with the football after the catch like what Henderson done at Ohio State.
Interesting. Also, PW comes in with a question to answer Andy's question, which is only two second rounders have signed their deals. And yes, all of these deals are guaranteed, but you're correct about Higgins, PW, but the other guy who got his guaranteed deal, I can't even find his name. It's somewhere in this list. It's it's Carson Schweisinger, the linebacker out of UCLA. So he is the other second rounder who got the deal. So it's both Jaden Higgins and Carson Schweisinger who got their guaranteed deals. But another question that I have for you, Thomas, is how can he be a huge asset for Josh McDaniels, considering that he loves to bring in he loves to utilize his running backs in his offense.
We'll use him as a receiver back, like the back of the day that we have James White, who is our only best receiving back in the New England Patriots. And plus, Henderson has the ability and the tools to have that, and I have him compare it to James White because he's actually a great receiving back, almost over 220 plus receiving yards as a running back. But 1 year, 2022, that he got injured, which is again not his fault, possibly a bad play or mixed cue or yada yada, but he's still a great receiving back at the end of the day. He could run the football. He could catch the football like James White did back in the day when we won some Super Bowls with him. So I'm not saying we're going to win Super Bowls with Henderson. No, we're going to get some good reps out of Henderson as a receiver back and a primary running back on the McDaniels offense.
Do you also think that he could take loads off of Stevenson's play, considering that he was, because Stevenson during his time with the Patriots so far, he has been used as a bell cow running back, and considering that Stevenson has been with 4 different offensive coordinators, I'm going to say it again, 4 different offensive coordinators. So do you think that with Henderson's presence, it's going to take the play off of Stevenson, making Stevenson a little better or worse for
Is one of the
this upcoming season?
is one of the coordinators that Stevenson's with is McDaniels on his first year?
It was his first year.
Now I say his first year when McDaniels, I think his first year is way better than the previous 2 years. Honestly, when we have McDaniels, when we have McDaniels, I can still trust Stevenson here, but I'm not. I say just cut the reps in half for our running backs, just to make it fair enough for our players. So,
Yeah,
like for example, have Ramondre have half of his reps doing like a 1-2 on second and third down, first and second down. Henderson's gonna be like our third down and fourth down back when we need it. So that's what I would do at this point if I was at McDaniel's shoes.
yeah. If I was in McDaniel's shoes, because the other running back outside of Ramondre Stevenson was Damian Harris, and I used to love watching footage of Damian Harris, considering that he was.
I know Harris was great. He was great with us.
But it didn't help that he was plagued with injuries.
Facts.
And it doesn't help that we had a better offensive line back in 2021 than we had in the last 2 seasons, I would say.
Yes.
So,
and the fact that we have Mac Jones as our fucking quarterback, that then when we have fucking Harris and other running backs.
Yeah. So that's a shame. So, but without further ado, let's get into some of his clips that all of us are anticipating to see. We're actually going to be starting with that 70-yard bomber that he had against Texas. If I can double check correctly on my schedule for the Ohio State Buckeyes, this was at the Cotton Bowl, which was the semifinal in the national
college football playoff. Yep. And the winner of that game faces Notre Dame for the national title.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'll be honest, that game was fucking great.
Oh, it was a beautiful sight to see. And so this play against Texas, the play that got him a touchdown, it was more of a passing play. And the fact that Henderson can thrive through the passing game and the run game, it makes him one of the more elusive running backs that we have in the league. So looking here.
Yeah, you can see that the defense is Howard. You can see the defense is rushing Howard. Then that pass to Henderson, he's wide open. Look at his legs. Look at his fucking legs. There's room to stop? No. He has the best legs in college football. He has the best speed in college football. Whenever he runs the football or receive the football, this young dude could actually play the best football in that high caliber level. And that's how he got that touchdown against Texas. Possibly one of the tougher teams in the SEC. Legit.
Yep. And this was actually Texas's first season with the SEC conference, because if I'm not mistaken, he was in was it Big 10 or Big 12 conference? Texas.
Texas was in the Big 12 then.
Okay, so Ohio State is a Big 10 conference school.
Yes, yeah, and the team who also from the Big 12 transitioned to the SEC is Oklahoma.
Interesting. So I also want to take a look at this play. This was week 1, up against Akron. I've never heard of that school before. Yeah,
Akron,
Akron.
the Akron Zips. They're from the MAC conference.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at that play, and you can see this is a running. This was in the run game. Let's see how it's been utilized in the run game. So you can see the end of the ball.
Yeah, they made the Akron defenders look like they're freaking scrubs. That is
Yeah.
like they're in the transformation right here. Henderson's on the left side. Then he went through the speed gap, stiff arm number 9 for Akron, and he literally just ran out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at another play that I think which showcase why I don't know why Henderson is gonna be a huge asset for this team. We've seen a lot of plays from Stevenson during OTAs where he caught that ball behind his back during OTAs.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, do you think that Paperways made a really good suggestion? Also, shout out to Paperways for making all these new suggestions for this show. We really appreciate your support in a massive way possible. But do you think that Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson will be the new Montgomery and Gibbs, or Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram from a few years back? Because McDaniels loves committees too, so Larison and Gibson will be involved too.
I'm not ready to say that they're the Montgomery Gibbs category, because like Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, two of the best running back duos in the National Football League, like without a doubt. Sonic and freaking Knuckles, you could say that here. That's what their names are gonna at this point here from last season. But I think they're a Kamara and Ingram comparison here. But if they can play well this season, then I'm ready to say that the next 2 seasons, I'm ready to say they're in the Montgomery Gibbs category. They're good, but until Stevenson has to limit his fumbles, so.
And it didn't help that the Patriots had the worst, and I'm gonna say it again, the worst offensive line in the league. So that
which I keep bitching and moaning about 2 straight seasons, because the one freaking position room that needs to be fixed is the offensive line, and I cannot even explain how many times I've been saying this.
Yeah, during that final season under the man, I'm not gonna even say his name, and then under Mayo,
Bill Belichick.
I felt like they did a terrible job of how they managed to create that offensive line, because the offensive line for the past 2 years, and the fact that Stevenson was part of that offense, it was one of the worst offenses I've ever seen as a Patriots fan. It was so disgustingly bad. I almost want to vomit.
Yeah, the offensive line was the offensive line. It's not Belichick's fault. I'll say that. It's poor coaching on the offensive coaching side of things. Honestly, our offensive line coach, bad. Many different offensive coordinators, like for example, we have McDaniels, so and so, and then we got fucking Judge and fucking Patricia, which is the worst idea I ever seen in my life. As a freaking offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, that's the worst idea ever. I don't know why Belichick did this, but that might be the dumbest thing as a coach for Belichick.
I don't think it was Belichick's fault as a coach. I do blame him as an executive, as a general manager.
Yes, and then 2023, 2024, we got fucking.
Traded for Vidarian Lowe, one of our more hated players. And then we traded for Wheatley, who has never seen the field.
Yeah, like he's like, in my opinion, the worst offensive lineman in the fucking room here. Then 2023, 2024, 2025, where we have frickin' Jerod Mayo as the coach, the offensive line, and the offensive coordinator was Alex Van Pelt, who was an above average above average offensive coordinator, above average, but the offensive line coach then garbage. And our offensive line still the same as 2023 through 2022. Fucking garbage. And that's how I suffer as a freaking Patriots fan, honestly. And
Yeah,
that deserves an F.
I bet you everybody in the chat was also frustrated about what the outcome was last season and the season before because nobody even want to talk about it. But let's not waste our time and let's just continue looking at some of these plays that made Henderson look good. Let's see if I can find this one. Oh, this is a really good play. This is up against Purdue. And I've seen a lot of Purdue advertisement when it comes to like writing and stuff, but this is not academics. This is sports. So we see Ohio State up against Purdue. We see that as like a let's take a look. Use him as a wide receiver. That's insane.
Yeah, you have him against this corner right there on the top of the screen. Like he's wide open. Yep, and that game, 3 receptions, 43 yards. That is one of his fucking receiving yardage at that game here.
Yep. And that's why because we've seen Rex Burkhead, we've seen James White, we've seen Dion Lewis, I'd say. Heck, we even seen Shane Marine being those type of running backs that Josh McDaniels loves to utilize. And the fact that both Mike Vrabel and Ryan Cowden, I have to give props to those two because they see that our running back position took a massive step back with Stevenson's fumbles, Gibson's not so much of his productivity, and we had JaMychal Hasty. So I'm really excited to see how Henderson could be a huge asset, considering that Mike Vrabel and Ryan Cowden handpicked this guy. And now that McDaniels has a toy to play with. But another play that I really, really think here's the in-depth. Look at his twitchy footwork.
Yup. Yeah, the gap between him and number 4 from Purdue is like really close, but at the same time, he's really open. And to tell you how this catch made him probably the best receiving running backs for Ohio State, and not only that, the best receiving wide receivers. Receiving running backs in college football.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, as we're showing these plays, reminder that I don't own any of these footage. This is actually from ESPN. This is from Big Ten. This is from Fox. So basically, I'm collecting some of the footage and put in our own commentary, not like from these commentary from all of these like Fox commentators and whatnot.
Networks. Yep.
So basically, if you want to see some of these specific plays, you could go check out that video in the description. In the description down below. There will also be some timestamps if you want to see some of these specific plays. So that's just to let you know. But let's take a look at another play for Northwestern, excuse me. And we see him in the backfield. Look at his elusive play.
Yeah, all he did, he went straight through the A gap against Northwestern defense, which I saw in this game. That is a poor defensive performance for Northwestern. They used to be a top school in the Big Ten. Henderson, the fact that Henderson just busted through the A gap on Northwestern's defense just made them like fools. And Henderson is the most exclusive running backs to ever do that against Northwestern. And he ran for 74 yards. Longest was 19, 6.7 yards per carry, 2 receptions for 19 yards, 9.5 yards per carry, per reception, yada yada. So there you go.
Yep. So I think this just shows that if you have a really good offensive line that we're gonna have to hark back on, this would make Henderson's gameplay look a lot easier, and
Actually,
it will excite Pats fans a whole lot than what we had to go through last season.
I cannot wait to see this clip. This is against
Oh,
previously number 5 Indiana. Indiana last season, I'll tell you this right now. Indiana last year surprised the living crap out of me. They were used to be not a good football school here, but the fact you have Kurt Signetti, who is a former head coach at St. James Madison University, who's known for a good football team. Look what Kurt Signetti did to this team. Changed them to a top 10 school in the country. And now they're one of the best Big Ten schools in the conference. And you're going against, and Ohio State's facing that team there. And that is a good game also.
yeah. I can't believe that too. It's actually really insane considering that Ohio State is going up against one of the best teams in the conference at the time. So that's actually going to be really impressive considering that this is one of Ohio State's huge tests, and especially for the offense, because Indiana, like you alluded to, had one of the more better defenses. So let's take a look at a play and see how Ohio State capitalized in this game.
Yeah, he went to the A gap, and there you go.
This is what happens when you have a good offensive line. I'm going to say that again every single time because the reason why running backs haven't get that much productivity was because of the offensive line. And now that we have a revamped offensive line, this will give the running backs more opportunities to make some of these plays. And especially you have a quarterback in Drake May to take the weight off of the offensive line.
Facts.
So here's another play against Indiana that I think is you really want to see. It's so good.
Yeah, he went to the B gap, and there you go. Might be the longest run here. Yep, and yeah, the reason he did that, he slid to put his knee down here, is to run the damn clock.
Run the damn clock because it was the fourth quarter. Yeah, there's only 2 minutes left. You're 1st and 10, and basically you're already in lead, so it doesn't matter. But the fact that Henderson was still making plays when Ohio State was still in the lead is actually really impressive. And let's take a look at that play again. Going through the B gap.
The B gap. And there you go. Right at the 2-yard line.
That's really impressive. And then
legit.
And let's take a look at some of the old rivalries because we need to show plays how the Ohio State Michigan rivalry has been really, really disgusting. And it really sucks that since Henderson's no longer with the school, it's actually going to make things a lot more interesting for the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines rivalry. But let's take a look at some of the plays between Ohio State and Michigan. So let's take a look at this play. And this is a passing game, by the way.
Yeah, against the team that they just lost by 3 points to an unranked Michigan team last year.
So let's take a look at this play again. Now let's back it up a little bit right here. They were 3rd and 7. And the fact that he was really open, that's really good. Let's take it from this angle. You see him in the back there trying to block. Looking for an opportunity to block someone. And the fact that he's really open, making the defensive end look silly.
Yeah, he did like a wheel route with the quarterback passed the football to him at this rate. So there you go.
That's really good. And finally, we're going to take, and this is going to be the last clip for today, and this is up against the Tennessee Volunteers.
First round of the college football playoff, by the way, and to get the clarification here, Last year they did a 12-team playoff, and the first round, home teams play at their home stadiums, which Tennessee will play. Like, for example, Tennessee plays at Ohio State.
Yep.
So,
And also, Andy mentioned something. The guy that he actually make him look silly was none other than Mason Graham. And the fact that the Patriots are going up against the Cleveland Browns, since the Cleveland Browns have Mason Graham, I'm curious to see how Josh McDaniels' offense could make it a lot more interesting. But let's cut to the trace and let's take a look at the final play against the Volunteers. So we see that Henderson, I think, is next to the quarterback. So let's take a look at that. To the side.
yep.
And it was really open.
Yeah, the fact that there's two Tennessee guys right on that. Yeah, play it.
Let's just pass that.
Yep. Yeah, you got two Tennessee guys right there after the catch. Like, the option is to just go upward to the field or just go out of bounds here just to get a first down here. So he went for the second option, that is catch the football, just get a first down, just step out of bounds, or just get down to the field. Well, occlusive plays just make Ohio State a better football team last year. That's what we saw from that play from Henderson.
Yeah, 100%. And considering that Henderson is going to be making all these plays in the passing game and the run game, it's actually going to take the weight off of Drake May, considering that we all know Drake May has the mobility. But the fact that you have more weapons with TreVeyon Henderson and Kyle Williams, who me and Andy will do a breakdown. I'm trying to find a date for when we will do that film Drake breakdown, but now that we have more weapons, this is gonna give opportunities for Drake May to be one of the more better quarterbacks in the league when he had next to nothing last season. So this is actually going to be really interesting, especially going up against, especially being under a proven head coach, and I'm going to say it again, a proven head coach in Mike Vrabel. So I'm really excited for this. Any final thoughts before we call a day on this live stream?
Nah, not exactly here. But I agree. Probably a better head coach is that we have after Bill Belichick here out of freaking Vrabel. It's really huge that we get him here to get as a head coach. But really excited to see Henderson get on the field. Preseason and then regular season, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's gonna be it for today's guys. Unfortunately I did botch up the intro, but I did not foresee this coming, considering that I don't have the ability to play the intro like I did for the past few streams because I thought they were really interesting. But it looks like it's gonna be back to normal with just like my regular intros, my regular rants. But however, I'm gonna make it a little more interesting just to make sure that this production goes smoothly. But as usual, guys, please make sure that you smash the like button and hit subscribe. It's completely free and helps support the channel. And please make sure that we hit the 100 subscriber mark. If you continue to subscribe, it's going to boost up this show. It's going to be a lot easier for all of the co-hosts that I bring in. It's going to be beneficial for Thomas, beneficial for Andy, beneficial for Austin. And as always, go Pats.
Go Pats.